And also the individual ministries keep working on their jobs. So the state is still working, all the processes are still ongoing as they should be. And I think such short-term interruptions will not have impact on what the state does. So the state is stable, the patient is stable, and the director of the hospital will provide more details.
I'm not good in medicine. Hello. Thank you. I will summarize in English in the end of the press release. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Dobrý deň všetkým.
Hello, good morning. So this morning we ran a follow-up CT on the Prime Minister on the basis of the decision of the team of doctors. This is a standard procedure for any patient, and on the basis of the result, necrotic tissue was removed, necrotic tissue that removed in the patient's body after the injuries. The patient is currently conscious, he's stable, but he's still in the intense care unit and his condition still remains serious. All of what is currently happening is essentially normal for such a critical condition like the one the Prime Minister is suffering from.
Today, based on control CT intervention, medical board decided to proceed with standard procedures and decided for further surgery intervention in order to remove necrotic tissue after the serious attack on Wednesday. At the moment, the Prime Minister Robert Fico is stabilized but still in a serious condition. Thank you.
If not,
Pán redaktor, ja som naozaj nie veľmi zdielny.
Mr. Editor, I not want to share much with this sort of questions. First of all, I'm interested in the condition of the Prime Minister. Doctors are taking extreme measures to stabilize him, and I once again want to thank the whole medical team, nursing team, which very patiently also accepts the different measures that the situation requires. And in many cases, they are trying to push through any problems and really doing all they can to move the prognosis into something positive. But of course, his condition is serious. These were serious injuries. So, as has been said, the Prime Minister is conscious, and currently he's only being limited by how serious his injuries are. Mr. Kalinak, could we talk to the Prime Minister? I mean, I just essentially replied to the same question. Yes, and I did that so that we do not have to return to it. But you can see I am in a bit better mood, so yes. I didn't even see them, to be honest, because I was not on any social media today. I mean, look, from all over the world, colleagues from the whole EU, everyone is talking to their counterparts, ministers, prime ministers, everyone who used to work with him as a prime minister in the past. I also talk to people from our neighboring nations. So we can only give thanks to all of the support because he can feel the energy, and I think the patient is aware of the good wishes. But to go back, say the same thing, the first days are difficult. And we will just follow the advice of the doctors. The first 4 days after a gunshot wound are the most critical ones. So the patient's condition is checked regularly. I'm a doctor, but not a medical doctor. But I feel like things are better because I can see progress. So yes, things are still serious, but hopeful. I would like to know, will the patient be undergoing any further operations or surgeries or anything else? Do you have any further information from his doctors? Well, the director of the hospital can say more, but in this moment I can only say that the Prime Minister will not be doing any political debates this weekend. And obviously, we just want his condition to keep improving. And again, I will repeat that I am in a much better mood because the staff really gives us hope. And also the way how everything went, when the team of the doctors talked together, the findings are positive. The first surgery was done well, so now it's only up to how strong the organism of Robert Fico is, which we believe is strong, and complications hopefully will only be minor or manageable. But of course, the situation is still complicated and serious. I think I will leave the director of the hospital to respond. But in terms of how the situation, how the condition will develop, you need to realize that the Prime Minister is a patient as any other person. So every morning with every patient, there is a team of doctors who decide on what will be happening during the day, given his condition and his diagnosis. So we are approaching this in a standard manner. If the medical consilium, the team doctors, on the basis of what happened during the night and during the morning, if they decide that there needs to be a checkup done or any sort of treatment needs to be introduced, it will happen that way, and we just obviously hope that the Prime Minister does not need any further treatment or surgeries or anything, but if it happens, we will be informing you in a timely manner. And I also want to inform you that we agreed with the Office of the Government to provide short information on our social media. So we will be providing short, understandable information on our social media, both in Slovak and English, so that you have access to information. Well, in this case, we cannot talk about leak of information because on the given document there is no name or surname or the birth number which would indicate the identification, which would identify the patient, but we are investigating what happened. Someone who opens up the document and reads it might just guess at which patient we are talking about. Were any specialists, any experts in certain fields called for the surgery? Well, the first surgery was a surgery where the Roosevelt Hospital is capable to provide the level of treatment necessary at the level which was required. So it was not necessary to invite further specialists, but we had a cardiological team on standby ready from the Cardiological Institute in case they were necessary. Was it during this surgery? No, just during the first one. I think it's very nice that everyone is thinking of the Prime Minister and they're wishing him a speedy recovery. Obviously, we have freedom to meet, but obviously there are laws in effect and we need to communicate with the City Council. I think it's enough if people just think of the Prime Minister and him good wishes, and any sort of assembly, even if it's in support of the Prime Minister, puts pressure on the police and on our staff and the staff of the city who have to react to the situation. So I think right now what we need the most is a calm approach. Yes, are there any thoughts about transferring the Prime Minister from Banska Bystrica to the capital, Bratislava? Yes, we have received several offers from different states to help with any transportation needs. And I think all of us, including the Prime Minister, have absolute faith in the capacities of the hospital here in Banska Bystrica. There are great specialists. And obviously, we always can consult any questions, and given how very serious the injuries were, I think every step is thought about very professionally, very carefully. And unfortunately, with such serious wounds, things go very slowly. We cannot expect the patient to feel well in 4 days. So yes, the condition is serious, but we never doubted that the Prime Minister is in the very best hands. So thank you very much for the offers. We received many of them from other countries to help, and we appreciate them greatly. But in this case, we have absolute faith in the hospital here. As we've mentioned already, the medical consiliums, medical teams will be deciding on any further steps. We cannot speed up things. It's not a good idea to speed up things. People have to be stable. The patient has to be stable. And then we will see. It will be the decision of the doctors and the Prime Minister. We will be deciding on the basis of their wishes. Again, same question as was just posed a little while. Once Robert Fico's condition enables him something like that. Once doctors say it's okay to transfer him, then yes, we can, but we're not there yet. We cannot, as of now, talk about potential transfer because that requires the patient to be at a certain level of recovery, and we're not there yet.
Yes, regarding the question whether the Prime Minister will be transferred to another hospital, whether abroad or to Bratislava, it really depends on everyday decision of the medical board. So we need to really be patient and decide on the condition every single day. Thank you.
Pán aktor, útok sa odohral pred
Mr. Editor, the attack took place maybe 48 hours or even less. And I know of this offer from Madam President, but I'm sorry, but I did not have time to really think about it or talk about it with my colleagues because we have different priorities at the moment. I understand this appeal because how the situation is being whipped up I mean, we are hearing a lot of intense rhetoric. I know there was a statement by the incumbent president and president-elect. They had a joint statement. The incumbent president was at the meeting of the Security Council yesterday as well, where she heard all of the information about the shooter, about his presence in protests. So he was radicalized in the past months, and all of what happened led him to believe that he had to attack like this. And in an atmosphere like this, we have to think about how to de-escalate the situation. But then when you read articles that did not really help de-escalation, you cannot be surprised when we ask the media to de-escalate the media, because you're the ones who have the information first. And when you refuse to admit that the mistake is on your side as well. So at this moment, I did not have any time to think about this offer of Madam President, because I could not discuss it with the Prime Minister. So my apologies, but this is, I mean, it's supposed to happen on Tuesday, so that's 5-6 days from today. And we're all still just trying to improve the condition of the Prime Minister, and we're taking it hour by hour. So we're thinking of what will happen in 1 hour, in 2 hours. We're not thinking about what will happen in 5 days. So it's like asking what will be happening in a month. Well, given the fact that we have the Prime Minister lying here, absolutely.
Right now, or who is in charge will come? Is he in shape to make decisions at the moment? I mean, political.
Yeah, I understand. Absolutely, I understand what you said. Actually, I'm just trying to understand that question in the way that, we just said that he's in very serious condition. So it means that, of course, it's limited. And as I mentioned, he is still Prime Minister, and he acting in the way he can. It's limited, but he can. Everything is stable.
And to respond to the question, of course, yes, it's limited. But I've never seen a stronger man than Robert Fico. That's why I have so much faith in him. That's why I say that despite how serious the situation is, we can move on minute by minute, hour by hour, and all the important things that we need to do as a government, we will be able to do it. We can do it. We still have our Prime Minister, and that's clear to all of us.
Well, we're going to come away from that press conference there. I think you get the gist. The Prime Minister, Robert Fico, who was shot several times on Wednesday afternoon, remains in intensive care. He is awake, but remains in a serious but stable condition. That update there being delivered by the Defence Minister, who is also the Deputy Prime Minister, also indicating that some of the political decisions which were awaited this week and early next week effectively not top priority at the moment. That is getting the Prime Minister out of a serious condition.